Well, it's a glorious day. It was freezing last night and we've had a couple days during last weekend where it did actually frost over. So I'm going to start harvesting some sticks from this location. There's still some leaves on the actual trees, but this is only the first harvest. I'll come back here probably another 2 or 3 times, but it's to make a start and I'm going to kind of get the harvest season going. Richard's given me permission to go into the field, so I'm just going to have a quick little walk around, see what's what, and then we'll get straight to it. So we've still got frost on the grass there from this morning. It wasn't a heavy frost. It's due to come in. I think it's going to get colder, but it's only a 1.5 out there, the car's registering. So some of the trees are still holding their leaves even though they've gone brown. They are dropping off, as you can see down there. Technically I wouldn't actually harvest from here till they were all gone, but this hedge is going to be cut, so I've got to take it while I can on this side of the hedge. So I'm just walking down through, and what I'm doing is I can feel the cold actually coming through my Wellington boots. Wellington boots are great at keeping your feet dry, but boy, don't they let the cold in. But yeah, there's still plenty I can take here. Some trees have dropped their leaves before the others. I'll probably try to get those. But I'm just walking the perimeter, and last season I took most of mine from that side. And to be honest with you, that side is still looking the best side at the moment because there's a lot less leaf coverage. But in any case, I've got to walk the perimeter and just gauge what I'm doing here. And as you can see, I'm walking a fair way downhill, so everything I cut and bundle up, I've got to walk back up that hill. Stunning and a beautiful location to work in though. Right, let's crack on. Now, you usually wait for the first frost, which I've done, and there's a fair bit of it on the ground here at the moment. You might just see the white patches here behind me. But you usually wait for the leaves. I've discussed that multiple times before. But this hedge that I'm looking at here runs alongside a very small single track lane, and as you can see, it's just starting to get up into the wires there. I don't know, they're telephone wires, I think. So it's all coming down this year, and he wants it done pretty quick. So anything I want on this side of the hedge, I've got to be getting it now. And that's the urgency. Incidentally, I'm helping him take this down. You know, for the 3 sticks, I'm doing free labour to cut and lay this hedge with him. But there's plenty down here and the leaves have dropped off. It looks like because it's colder down here, they've lost their leaves. There's probably a bit of sun up there just helping hold the leaves on the actual trees. And there you can clearly see what's happening there. That cable's running through the tops of those, well, the trees there. So, but down here, look at all these fine sticks. Right, let's go get my stuff together and let's get on with it. Well, I've brought the big gun if I do need it, but it's looking like everything I can get will be with the actual pruners and my hand tools. I got machete, hatchet, folding handsaw, and this one here I come to start with. That's only if I get a lot in one area that I can do everything in a very quick space of time with that one. I'm going to start in the bottom of the field, pretty much down at the bottom of the valley here, and the next little paddock down there looks to be a stream or river. That's probably why it's holding the damp cold air here and there's still frost on the ground. But I'm going in on this corner and I'm going to work my way back up the field basically. But I'm only here for a short period of time because I've got things to do at home, and this is a bit of a recce, but while I'm here I'm going to take some. But you're here with me, let's crack on and let's see what we can actually well, find here or pull out the hedge. Right then. First one of the season. There we go. The season's actually officially started. Now this hedge has a 20-foot drop on the other side down to the lane, and it's about 5 foot wide. You can't really see the depth, but I will be getting inside this hedge later on. Now all the brush and leftover bits I cut up to manageable lengths, then I weave them and feed them back into the hedge where they will rot down and not be an inconvenience to Richard and his electric fence. Now I've cut this one at the base the length I want, but it's hung up in the canopy, and now when I try to take the length that I want from it by cutting the top part off, it's all springy, it's all bouncy. I'm literally back against the wall, literally, because it's so tight you can't get a full draw back on the knife. It does make for hard work. Once you get roughly halfway through the stave, what you need to do is just gently bend the top part away from the cut area. Not enough that you splinter and cause damage to the back end of the cut by breaking it out. All you're trying to do is push the stave forward so the blade does not jam up in the wood. Now the loppers are a real godsend if you've got room to operate them, but as you can see it requires a fair bit of room and a fair angle to get them open enough to go around a stave of this size, and it's about 1.5 inches I would say where I'm cutting. A bit wider down the bottom, but that's quite simply because I'm taking to allow me to make some of my heavier gauged model hiking sticks. Now I'm breaking a real safety rule here, and that's having open blades attached to me. Don't ever do this. This is only entertainment, what you're seeing here. This isn't a guide and a how-to. I strongly suggest you never copy this. I'm only doing it because I'm fully aware of what I'm doing, and I've been doing it for years. But even so, accidents could happen, and yeah, you'd be extremely foolish to copy what I'm doing. In fact, I'm going to say don't even attempt it. Right, I've taken this stave down. I'm going to cut and get two sticks from this one. I've got safety glasses on because it's getting quite dense in there, and there is some hawthorn and blackthorn amongst it. So yeah, this one here I can get two. I'm going to get what I would call a medium-sized hiking stick, and I can get a bushwhacker or Valhalla out of the bottom part of this one. So for taking this one down, I can get two. So yeah, just find out roughly where I'm going to cut it, and we'll do it. Right. So that's a fair size there. That's shoulder height there, and this one here, yeah, that'll be another one there. And I'll probably leave the Y piece on it to give me the option to do a thumbstick if needed. Problem is, leaving the Y piece on takes up more room in the rack. If needed. Right, let's clean up all the brush here. I've already, you know, in the short period of time I've been here, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, about 12 pieces, and that's within 10 minutes. And I'm not stripping the hedge bare because it's still obviously a live hedge and being used to, you know, keep livestock in. So never strip one area totally bare, just keep moving on up. Basically, it's just common sense. If you see you're putting too many gaps in that hedge, walk away and leave it and move up. Right then, friends, you can see this bit here. I'm going to go in here. I'll let you have a quick look at what I'm selecting and how I'm selecting it, but there's a multitude I can take from there, but I obviously want to leave the strongest to allow the tree to survive. We're coppicing in effect. We're not taking or killing anything, we're coppicing, which means we're taking growth, and where we take the growth with hazel trees, they're prolific for sprout. For every one you take, they'll throw 3 or 4 up, new shoots from the area you've taken. What I'm doing here has been done for millennia. My ancestors would have done this for thousands of years. This is a well-known practice. Right then, friends, you can see I'm going to take 2 there. There's 2 there and 1 behind. There's some bigger ones back there, but they're beyond what I could use for hiking sticks. And when we come to cut this hedge down, we'll use those and we'll lay it over to form a bridge and make the hedge level all the way up through, and we'll be laying the hedge in effect. I think I've shown that in other videos, but in effect I can see about 5 I'm going to take here, and I'm leaving the ones that aren't quite so good for myself there, quite simply because they'll be hard to make into a hiking stick, and they're going out at angles and they're keeping the hedge full. So I'm just taking the ones that aren't going to be missed and obviously are not going to impede the tree and the hedge. Right then, guys, this is an enjoyable time of year out here harvesting and in the hedgerows. You're with nature, you're doing something that's been done for thousands of years, but I will always say, don't hurt yourself or put yourself in danger with blades, knives or any other cutting tool. just for a stick. If it starts to get to the point it becomes difficult, it's dangerous, you're breaking safety rules, you're climbing or hanging off things and using tools one-handed, stop, think about it. There'll be an easier stick further up the hedge. Walk away from it, don't hurt yourself. But having said that, I've got to get amongst it, so let's crack on. And incidentally, that handsaw I've got, that I did a little bit, not a review, but I just discussed I'd bought that, it does seem to be working out okay. It takes a little bit of practice to get used to the bend in the saw, because you have to draw it in that bend, but when you do that, it's doing a fine job at the minute. But it's only done 12 sticks for this harvest. Let's crack on. And yes, I'm fully aware that my blue undershorts are showing there. But yeah, feel assured that my belt is pretty strong there. And it's going to keep it all together. So you're only going to get to see a little bit of the top bit of the colour of my undershorts. And yes, that is electric fence my machete is touching there. And yes, I have double checked that that electric fence isn't connected, because I could be jumping or rolling around on the floor in a little bit of pain or discomfort if I'd touched that with that machete. And that's one thing to always bear in mind. If you see a fence like this, it's more than likely an electric fence. So take care and be safe. Now, due to what leaf coverage there still is on all these sticks, I'm pretty sure I'm missing still quite a lot of the good ones. But I will be coming back over the cutting season in the winter, so we will get a chance to have a quick little look to see if we've missed some really good ones. Fox poo there. There's loads of rabbits in this hedge. Right, I'm actually inside the hedge here now, and I'm going to try and get some of these. This is the crown of the tree. As you can see, these are the healthy bigger ones, and I'd only be taking the smaller ones. This hedge has been coppiced multiple times, you can see that. So I've got to try and get some of these out in here. Hence eye protection. When you're in this sort of environment, you turn around just quick, straight in the eye. So yeah, don't lose an eye just for the sake of a hiking stick. But anyway, I've got to try and get some of these out. Oh. Doing this one-handed now. Alright. And in this jungle, I've got to trim this one off and get it back out through there. Right. I do actually have to think about getting home shortly, because I've got to go home for the dog. He's home alone. Yeah, so I've done an hour here and I've selected a good few pieces just in basically a 30-yard piece of hedge. I could have taken more, but I'm going to select what I want and then come back. This side of the hedge, as I said, isn't producing the best quality like on the opposite side. That's the side that's getting well, I'm guessing pretty much all the sun, because but even here I've got a good harvest for me is usually, I always say anything 10 or 12 and above that each time I go out is a good harvest. But I bet I'm coming away with possibly 30-40 pieces already on the floor here, so it's been quite productive. But I've got to get out of here. So, and because there's rabbits in this hedge, this is one of the fields Richard wants me to tackle his rabbit problem. The problem is, and I'll show you in a minute, the rabbits are burrowing into this hedge, and as it collapses, the hedge is getting smaller and smaller and degrading. So too many rabbits, too many holes, and once one hole or warren collapses down onto another, it weakens this hedge that I'm on at the moment, and you get subsidence. So everything in moderation. If you let rabbits get out of control, they destroy your hedges. And you know, even if you think that's okay, some of these hedges that I'm actually on are actually, you know, could be in excess of like 300, 400, 500, 600, 700 years old. So they are historic in that way. Right, let's get out of here. Don't come and do something like this if you're not prepared to get dirty and get in among. Right. Ooh. Yeah, we were in there. My shemag's got caught up. I scrabbled right the way through there. Here's what I got out here, and they're more of a slightly larger nature on this bit here. But like I said, I've got all along there and all up there to actually harvest, and I've still got to go all the way up through here. Right, I've dropped all the tools back up here. I've come to get a strap, and this is what I'm going to start carrying the bundles up. And as you can see, it is work. I mean, I can't get around it. You know, if you want to harvest sticks, be prepared to do some work. But it's, you know, it's good wholesome work. You're outdoors in nature, and you're pretty much doing what your ancestors would have done, harvesting sticks for various building projects, well, making weapons, or, you know, agricultural tools. So what I'm doing here, going down this hedgerow, there's every chance over the hundreds of years somebody's been doing this along this hedgerow pretty much the same as me. Basically, I just get the strap, I loop one end, I thread it through, and I'll show you. Like that. Possibly the heavy end at the back. So I'm just going to thread all these through a moment. I always find 10 pieces is pretty much all I want to carry for doing a distance. But yeah, 10 pieces gets quite heavy when you've got to go up hills and things like that. So all I'm doing is feeding them through this loop. You'll get the idea in a minute. But this is going to be about 3 trips, I think, possibly more. Just get them in. Then I got to get home, get the dog out. I'll sort through these and rack them. These aren't the best quality ones I can have from here, but I've made a start. They'll all be, when I say quality, I've picked good usable sticks. It's just that there's more bends in them than what I'm really looking for. Is that it? Right. So all I do now is basically get them together like this. Bring the ratchet strap right down on them. So it's tight. That end is totally constricted. Bring this around the top bit. This feels heavy. And all I'm doing now is making a handle I can put over my shoulder. So basically I'm just going to knot it off. So basically I've got it like this, and then this is it, like this, or over your head, and I've got to walk all the way up that hill. See you guys in a moment. Oh boy. Well, that was hard work slogging up that hill. I'm going to be leaving the tools in the car. They'll be there so I can just bomb burst at a drop of a hat and get straight down here, even if it's only for an hour and a half harvest. That's the time pressures I'm working with. But in any case, you know, I've been doing it for 5 years this way, and I'll have to continue. Tools staying in the car. I've got about 50 pieces in there. This is one of the reasons I keep justifying to myself why I don't need to buy a newer vehicle, because quite simply it's just you've got to use it to transport wet, slimy, dirty pieces of wood freshly harvested. But I'll let you have a look, and there you go, all the way up through. I've got a 7-seater people carrier type of car, so you know it's quite valuable for this. But yeah, I've got about a 50-piece harvest in there, and I'm quite pleased. Like I said, the tools will stay here, but I've got to hit the road now and get off home. I've got things to do. Well, I've got a bit of a sweat on, and I'm looking forward to a cup of tea, but I've got to go home. I've got things to do. I've got to pick the wife up from her mother's, so that's all got to happen now, and I've got to take the dog out for a walk. So you've seen the harvest, you've seen the reasons why we got to get this hedge down and why he wants it down so quick, because basically the cables that are running through the top of it, and it'll be at his choosing. He's the landowner, so you know, he's been gracious enough to say I can take what I want, but it's got to be before he wants to do it, and he'll make the decision when he wants to do it. So I'm in a little bit of a rush to get what I want from this piece of ground. I do, as I mentioned, I think I mentioned, this is one of the pieces of ground. He wants the rabbits brought a little bit more under control. But that's something I may do on my own. You know, I'm not sure I really want to bring you guys on that. But in any case, yeah, I've got a 50-piece harvest. As for me wandering around with unsheathed tools attached to my belt, that's a totally unsafe practice. Don't follow suit, don't do it, and I'm categorically going to say that was unsafe. Only thing in my defence, I'm aware of it, I'm cautious of it, and I've been doing it for years, but accidents can still happen, and anybody with any common sense will tell you don't do it and don't follow what I did there. So yeah, this is I'm just bringing you along for entertainment. I'm not doing this as a, you know, hard and fast tutorial how to harvest sticks and the practices. Don't do what I did there. But in any case, this is Andy from the Folklore Hiking Stick Workshop, although technically I'm not in the workshop, I'm in a field. But take care, stay safe, and I'll catch you guys possibly on a hike or doing something else. But in any case, stay safe, take care, catch you again.